The inches we need are everywhere around us. Hell yeah. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
All right, Bills fans, it's been a little bit since I've done a podcast for you. I want to apologize. You guys have been some of the best viewers I have. I am really loyal to you, even though you chose the wrong team. And I know this is not a good moment. And I did not expect the situation to be here. So Dolphins are off, and I want to get some good coverage to you guys this week and really get back to covering you on the regular. Little old, getting tired, so I do apologize. But some of you have said in the past, you're a closet Bills fan. And the truth is, I have learned to love football beyond my team. I've said this in the past. I even find myself getting excited for the Jets doing well. I think because I've been down in the toilet with my team so long, I just appreciate guys on the bottom rising up and seeing just football players and teams feel good, except if you're the Patriots. And this talk that's going on right now, I hear it. It's rising again. Josh Allen, he took full blame. It was all on him, the loss. And I'm not a Bills fan, respect the Bills, all that, but I am 100% a Josh Allen fan. And I find myself emotionally attached to this player. Now, I never want him to beat my Fins, but this kid is such a good kid. And if I'm going to say it correctly, he is full of BS in some regard because he's not totally responsible for this loss. Yes, he had the fumble. The one pick on the 4th and 2, there was nothing else he could do. The one pick at the end in the overtime, that's his fault. But what's the framework? We look at my man Tua, and he was trash until the framework improved. And then now he's great. Allen is suffering from poor framework at the moment. I've been talking about it for 2 years, and it really is absolutely crystallized in this game. And I'm not saying this because I don't like McDermott. I like McDermott. I like Bean. I like Dorsey, and I like Frazier. I do. I think they're really good coaches. But it's their time to step up. Josh Allen's got to take care of some stuff. I talked 3 weeks ago about the foolish interception he had at the end of the game, how you don't want to do that even though you're going to win, and you're winning because it's going to write memory in your body that, okay, this is okay. It's always got to be unacceptable. You always got to control that because it can then permeate. Following week, Allen did the same thing, and it was a problem. This week, same thing, and it's a problem. But it's got to start higher than Allen. Now, unfortunately for my Fins, the good news is this is very correctable. I don't see the Bills in a bad situation if these things get corrected. They're now in their critical moment. They've had 2 critical moments. They lost to Miami, had all those injuries, rose out, and because of the framework, they're back in their moment. But if they want to be champions, if they want to win it all, adversity has to be their friend. And a friend they're going to stab in the back and drive 6 feet under. This is their time. But it's not about Allen, especially this week coming up, which I want to talk to. So I'm going to delineate clearly in context the situation of the game and show you, yeah, Allen could have done this, and this, but it didn't have to get there. It shouldn't have gotten there. And that's why the blame has to rise higher. Now, before I get into all that, I want to say thank you for stopping by. Likes and subscribes in the comments. You guys are the best. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. Mike Tyson said this.
Well, everybody has a plan. Most of they got punched in the face.
We all do. Sometimes
they punch you back in the face. Yeah, that's plan too. You got to be careful with that.
And this is where the Bills are at. They are Mike Tyson. They have all the potential, everything, offense, defense, offensive line, skill talent. They got it all. There's some injuries. You lost some guys and all that. But still, you could beat anybody. Problem is the Bills struggle with beating themselves. And that, again's got to start to leadership. I give Josh Allen all the credit in the world for owning up to it. But the problem is him having to own up to it is the major issue because he is the team. He's the end-all, be-all the time, and it can't be that. It's got to stop. I said this 2 years ago. Even Dan Marino, who's a better passer of the football than Allen, can't do all the other stuff. But in his prime, he was the best passer of football, in my opinion, of all time. And he couldn't carry it all. Now, he had an incomplete team and all that. But the load that Josh Allen's getting is too much. And you could see the weight on his psyche starting to become too much. Now, going to get into the game right here. And I'm going to show you this game should have ended with a Bills victory. Regardless if Allen fumbles in the end zone on the half-yard line or throws a pick in overtime, because it should never have gotten there. But this goes back to core principles that I've talked about, how, to me, the leadership is a little skittish, gets a little tight in big moments, and it's either Allen rising to it or it's not going to happen. Now, you can look at last year's Chiefs game. Allen did what it took. Bad call, 13 seconds. We know that. Go back to the Titans game. You could have kicked, believe it was for the tie, but instead you did the ridiculous goal line quarterback sneak. Didn't go anywhere. And there's been a lot of big games you guys have won, but usually it's from a strong point ahead of Allen just dominating. It's these, if you've ever played chess, openings, there's a lot of things that can happen. You can make some mistakes. Middle, you can make a little bit less mistakes, but it's the beginning of the end where every move is critical, and there's less and less space to escape a bad move. I want to start this game at 144 left in the third, because that's the point where you guys lost the game. And it's not about Allen. Now, Allen, 29 for 43, 330 yards in the air, 7.7 passing average, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. One of those, though, we know, the 4 and 2. There's nothing you can do about that. It was either take a sack or throw your body into somebody and pray to get the first, which he wasn't, or throw the football. And then he had 2 sacks. And then he had 6 rushes for 84 yards. That one long run was crazy. The guy had, 414 yards through his arm and through his leg. You were up 27-10 with 144 left in the third. Then you get the big Cook run. Now things start to get tight. And up until this point, if you notice, you go back and watch the game, it was a balanced look. You were handing the ball off. You were under center. You were running from under center. You were running from shotgun. You were passing from every different direction. You had run diversity, look diversity, and you were up. And then the big run happened. You get the ball back. It's 27-17 with 134 left in the third. And now it starts to get a little nervous. And this is where Dorsey and McDermott get skittish. And they say, Allen, bail us out. I'm going to go through all these plays, and you're going to see on many levels, just better calls would have won this game. And I'm not saying that anecdotally. It's just 100% positive. So Vikings have 2 timeouts. You're up by 10 points with 134 left in the third. And what do you call? Let's go through every play on these last 2 drives, okay? Not counting the third, the very last drive, because you had 40-something seconds and you had to throw. But And of course, Allen gets you down there with the field goal. But all right. So you open up with the pass on 1st and 10, completion. Open up a pass on 2nd and 5, and you get an incompletion. Then you open up the pass on 3rd and 5. Allen's got to scramble because the Vikings, they're cutting off like 8 yards and deeper. They're dropping everybody. What I've seen them do all the time. They know you're not running. They know. Holding call. Now you're in 3rd and 15 or 16, and you get that Allen rollout, the throw, which was actually high, and Diggs makes that unbelievable catch. But it took that unbelievable catch to keep this drive alive. You run on 1st and 10 out of shotgun. You can see here, when you run out of shotgun, everybody on the other side of the D-line, the linebackers, the safeties, everybody can see the handoff. It's so much easier to diagnose, and it makes for an easier stop. So you get stopped. Pass. 2nd and 10. Sack. Dead play. 3rd and 16. You get that wild pass to Davis down the field. Then you go back to pass on a screen on 1st and 10. That doesn't work. You run or draw again on 2nd and 10, and you get to 7 out of it. And then you run a pass on 3rd and 3, which you get the first down. 1st and 10 pass, another nice play. Gets you down to 8.5 yards. You cover, and you need 1.5 yards for first down. Now, your 2nd and 1.5 and a touchdown makes it a 3-score game. 1.5 yards. You bring Saffold in, you bring Quisenberry in, and these guys are run blockers. So what do? I believe it's a shotgun screen. It goes nowhere. 3rd and 1.5. Now, they go for it on 4th, so they're intending to go for 4 downs on this one. 4 downs, and you don't run once. You know you're going to go for it. You want the touchdown. You knew that when you were in this position. The coaches knew that. Dorsey knew that. McDermott knew that. But all you do is throw, and throw. So, 3rd and 1/2, throw. Incompletion. 4th and 1.5. You go for it. It's 27-17. This would have put you up just about 2 scores. They would have need 2 touchdowns, and at this point, it's like 10 minutes left in the game. So you're saying to me that your defense can't stop 2 touchdowns. You're willing to come out with bubkiss. So you go for the pass. Allen has nowhere to go. They know you're passing. This is a poor run defense. They stop you. He throws the pick. He gets the blame. But it's not his fault. How do you, if you know you're going for 4th down, I'll say it again, if you know you're going on 4th down, how could you not have one run in there with Allen, with the line that you have? Because Allen addiction to pass. Dable, the ghosts of Dable. So, they get that big score with Cook, and it goes to 24-27, but they miss the extra point, and a field goal would have had you up by a touchdown anyway. You won't know that, but playing the odds, playing a level of conservativeness, and that will go back to running a football a little bit on 2nd and 1.5, would have had you up the full score. But not on top of that, they got the ball back because you guys come out, and what is it? McDermott's up by 4 points. And what does he do? Pass on 1st and 10. Which is doesn't go anywhere, I believe. Pass on 2nd and 10. And it's a false start. Pass on 2nd and 15. Incomplete. Pass on 3rd and 15. Incomplete. Go check the coverages. They said we're taking away, we're dropping everybody. So you went from 434 up by 4 to giving them the ball back with 3:29 left in the game. If you had run the ball 2 or 3 times more in the previous drive, you would have burned 30 or 40 seconds off the clock. When you guys look, when you got ahead, Allen was waiting for the clock to drop, getting down to like a second or two. Even when they were lined up, they were being patient. They were running the football. Again, run diversity, and it got you ahead. But soon as there was a moment of tightness in the game, it was a puckering. And I don't blame Allen. 3:29 left. They drive down with the miraculous 4th and 16 to, what's-his-face, the receiver. Can't think of his name right now. Jefferson. To keep it alive. But even still, you get to the line. You get down to 4th down and pull off the miracle stop with 50 seconds. 50 seconds. 2 run plays instead of all these pass plays in what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. About 18 to 19 pass plays, and 2 or 3 were runs. If you added just 2 or 3 more, you would have won the game right there. Not to mention, running the football draws the defense up and opens things up. Allen had 1 limited practice this week. And then he goes into the game. And you could see the velocity on the football wasn't Allen. It was like 85%. He was a little bit off. His velocity was a little bit off. And you make the guy throw 43 times, run 6 times, and in the critical aspects of the game, you bring in run blocking offensive linemen. You got Singletary, who's an excellent back, who started out hot, had 2 touchdowns, and then just cooled off, and then you put Cook in. You don't run the clock out with one of the best defenses in the league. This is head coaching. I played it at the beginning, but this is Pacino in that famous movie with there's inches everywhere.
The inches we need are everywhere around us. Hell yeah. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
Head coach has to understand this. If Allen is going to come in with a bum elbow and you're going to be up that much, that late in the game, and you're still going to ask him to carry, then what you're saying is, we don't have a team. It's Allen, Allen, Allen. And it's never not going to be the kid. And you can see that he's a good kid. He believes. He wants to do good. He gives everything he has, and there's no protection. And that starts with McDermott and goes to Dorsey, and it's the spirit of a Dable. You got a good team. You got good coaches. They got to learn a very simple lesson. Run the football. Pass balanced. Not all the time. But this kid was banged up, gave you the lead, and then you didn't take care of him. And then he goes to the podium. I don't know if McDermott came out and said, hey, man, we should have done all this. I haven't listened to your social media. If he did, great. That's great. But here's the proof. 2 to 3 runs would have run the clock out, and that amazing stop would have ended the game, and everybody would have held their head up. He wouldn't have had the fumble on the half-yard line or the pick at the end and game over. That's it. Move on. Win. Coaching is the most important thing in NFL football than any other coaching in any other sport. Leadership takes responsibility. I don't know if McDermott said it. If he did, that's good leadership. Josh Allen showed great leadership. He is not a loser. He's not a goofy kid. I got one guy, he's a really nice guy. He knows a lot about football. He's like, he's super talented, but he's a goofy guy. There's a certain limit to everybody's ability to carry responsibilities. You have the team. Rely on the defense when it's the time. Add in the run game when it's the time. Go to Josh Allen through the air when it's the time. Run the football with Josh Allen when it's the time. It's not always the time to throw the football at Josh Allen and run with Josh Allen. But this is a good team. But leadership is the primary issue, and it's so correctable. I've been saying this for 2 years. I've been saying it out of truth. I've been saying it out of love to the fan base. I love this kid. I do. I mean, when he came up to Tua going into the week and he's like, I feel for him, I understand him. He was supporting him going into the game. And he did the same thing with Wilson. At the end of the game, he comes up to him and he puts his head on Tua. And, dude, this guy is, if you like Tua, you got to like Josh Allen. He's a good kid. He's always positive. He's always supportive. And he's carrying the work. He's not Atlas. He's a human being. And you can see the burden is too much. A coach has to understand psychology. This Cleveland game, even my pass-happy Dolphins understood we've got to run the football. And they run the football against a weak interior on the Cleveland defense, and we blew them out. I was blown away. But that's the sign of a smart coach. McDermott is a defensive coach, but he's got to understand this as a head coach and get Dorsey to understand it. He did a couple of games ago and then forgot it. This is a dangerous game for you guys. If you lose this game, it's going to be very, very difficult. And there's no reason to. I think Watson's coming back this week. It's going to make it more difficult. But it's up in Buffalo, I believe. Run the football at their weak interior. Stop putting these offensive linemen in pass protect all day. Stop having Allen throw in pass coverage all day. I do hope the best for you guys as long as it doesn't compromise my Dolphins. Always hope for the best for Allen as long as it doesn't compromise my Dolphins. You guys are a great fan base. You're so many great, classy people. When my team was down, you're like, I hope you do well. I say the same for you. Good luck going forward. I want the best team to win. If it's my team, amen. If it's your team, amen. But it's annoying to see Josh Allen thrown under the bus this way, on the field, and then post, and now he's starting to get the rap. Good luck, guys. This is Curtis saying from his heart, catch you next time. Be well. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.